Hi folks, I'm Will Bridges with 123Trade. Welcome to this week's Forex news macro market update. We're going to talk about, news that's going to affect pretty much every traded market out there. If you want to trade stocks, Forex, doesn't matter. You need to know what's going on with inflation, you need to know what's going on with interest rates, and you need to know who's raising them first, who may never raise them, all that type of fun stuff. So I'm going to address a lot of that based on the announcements that are going to be coming out this week from around the world. This shouldn't take very long. There's not really a ton really to mention here this week. There are some big events that are happening, but it's going to be very straightforward as far as what you should do about it and how it might affect your trading. But if you like this type of video, then by all means, press the thumbs up button. Support us in the most inexpensive way possible, free. Subscribe, ring the bell if you like this type of information. Let's get this show on the road. What this is a risk disclaimer. What this says is that there's no such thing as a guaranteed trade or a guaranteed investment. If you put your money in any market, then your capital's at risk. You gotta risk it to get the biscuit, people. Okay, so if you need more trading education, you need more awesome trading tools, maybe just some great traders to follow along with, then check out the up to $22,000 in free stuff that you might be able to get on our website just by funding a trading account. And really, we want to help you get the best trading conditions that are out there as well. We don't want you to pay too much money for things like commission. Okay, so let's get to the calendar. And today is Tuesday as I film this. Not really anything of note on Tuesday. Quiet day, not usually common. But as far as yesterday goes, I want to give a little bit of a recap with what happened in, looks like Europe, GBP, USD going to be affected by these announcements. So manufacturing PMI, this number is down a little bit. And this is the French number here. I can't imagine that this is going to say is going to really, let's just say I can't imagine this is going to stay up high, because the vaccine passport thing seems to be a little bit rough, at least from what I've seen on TV. If you have any type of comment about what's going on in France, by all means, let us know what's actually happening if you live there, because it's really difficult to understand, what the news is showing you anymore. But these numbers are declining regardless. They're still bullish. So, they're still looking at things being better than they might have been last year. But they are declining. German flash manufacturing PMI came out lower than expected. They are also going through a lot of, growing pains, you might want to call it, with the whole vaccine passport thing. So if you have comments about any of this stuff, then by all means, hit us in the comments section. I'd love to know what you think. GBP, this flash manufacturing PMI, also a declining number here. Services are coming down. Okay, this is not good for Europe. Okay, so this is a downward trajectory for Europe right now, so I may be a little bit bearish on really the world economy, especially when I move down here to the USD and I see that services are lagging here as well, not as good as it was last month. Manufacturing is also coming back a little bit to earth. So Monday really just told me that maybe we're headed towards some risk off territory, which might mean a lot of strength for things like the yen and the Swiss franc. But let's keep on moving here. We've got Wednesday. Okay, this hasn't happened yet. We've just got the forecast numbers. German IFO business climate. They're forecasting 100. That's a positive number. So nothing really to be alarmed about with that number. I can't imagine it's going to be a massive market mover. There's a lot of other bigger news that's about to happen on Thursday, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But this core durable goods orders, month over month in the U.S., this is things like cars, for example. Okay, so if we're growing at 0.5%, that's actually fairly strong. We zoom in here, these numbers back here in 2019, very similar. So not an alarming growth rate there, very much status quo type of thing. Not going to be a game changer as far as I'm concerned. I don't expect that to be a big game changer. On Wednesday, crude oil inventories. Okay, what I'm expecting to happen with this is for the inventory to go up, and mostly because I think that people they're putting the fear back on us. So what that means is that people are probably going to go out less, especially if they're living in New York or California or whatever, and you've got to prove you're vaccinated to do something. Then people that aren't can't go buy things. Doesn't matter what you think politically. That's just how it works economically. We're here to talk about making money, if you guys aren't aware. Thursday, okay, preliminary GDP. Okay, preliminary GDP, there's a lot of different ways that they promote the GDP numbers. The preliminary numbers are more important than the final GDP numbers, because this is a projection. So they are basically expecting for us to have a very high GDP rate. A lot of it goes into the fact that we include government spending in gross domestic product. So even if the economy slows down, if the government picks up the slack, GDP still looks sexy. All the people that don't understand how that works look at that number and they say, wow, what a strong move. So very, concerning. A lot of the numbers are declining here. GDP still looks like it's going up, which is very interesting to say the least, especially when unemployment claims are expected to fall by 3,000. There's 10 million open jobs in the U.S. right now. Okay, so still a big gap in employment just because people aren't going to work. And, fewer people are really probably even eligible for unemployment at this point. Well, heck, I'll just tell you guys, I've been trying to hire people for the last few weeks. I can't find anybody. So I know I'm not the only one in that situation. And, it's not even just my business unit. I have plenty of other businesses that I've worked with, spoken to, that are in the same situation here in the United States. So Jackson Hole Symposium, what this is, this is a big event that happens every year. All the big brains in banking, the Jerome Powells of this world are going to go and they're going to talk about the plan for the world economy. So there is going to be big news that comes out after this happens on Thursday. So if you are in a bunch of trades on Thursday and you're concerned about what might happen to them on Friday, Thursday might be a good day to dump if you're worried about that. I'm not telling you have to. I'm just telling you that there is going to be some kind of decision made at this Jackson Hole Symposium. It is annual, okay? So if you read this here, held in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, is attended by central bankers, finance ministers, academics, financial market participants from around the world. Okay, so this is a big deal. This is where they're going to meet with their minds and decide our future when it comes to monetary policy. So if you don't know what that is or what's happening with that, Google it, search for it, read any of these articles that are listed right here, and educate yourself on what's about to happen. So, after that, a little bit later in the day, retail sales in Australia, these are forecasted to be down. Not a surprise. They have a very violent lockdown there right now. Some people are happy about it. Other people are not. Bottom line, it's bad for the Australian economy. So let's keep on moving here. Actually, really, New Zealand is doing that as well. And they locked down, I think, pretty much, 1 day apart for a handful of people getting COVID. So I'm expecting actually strength against the New Zealand dollar with the Aussie, at least in the short run. USD, okay, this PCE price index, this is another inflationary number. Not quite as terrifying as the other numbers we've seen, but still higher than most of the announcements that have happened for the last, let's zoom out here. We'll call it 15 years. Okay, so still very high if that comes out the way that they're expecting. Powell's going to come out after the Jackson Hole Symposium on Friday and give a speech at 10 a.m. So if you are worried about what he's going to say, I strongly recommend you cut bait and you wait until Friday after he does that to maybe find a little bit more of a trend direction that makes sense. Because everything could change when he gives this speech. That is going to be a big deal. This is a world-moving announcement right here. Okay, so Jackson Hole Symposium, you guys need to know what that is. Very important. The most important thing on this list here this week. Okay, so if you paid no attention to anything else I said in any of this entire video so far, you need to be aware of that. It's happening on Thursday, and you need to be aware of the speech that will be happening on Friday, where Powell comes out and tells everybody what the plan is. Okay, so there's actually more days of that. Day 2, day 3. Okay, so very well we might not find out until Sunday. Okay, so Sunday might be a very hot time to look for a trend. I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on, but that is the news for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed. There's going to be a ton of volatility. Okay, we may see some sideways movement for part of this week leading up to this, and a lot of people are going to try to guess what direction that things might go, but I don't like to guess. I like to measure stuff. But if you like this video, thumbs up, hook us up. Okay, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to see more content like this. If you want more help, education, tools, you need a trading account, then visit our website on 123trade.com or send us an email to brokers@123trade.com. Hope to trade with you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day and be good or be good at it. Take care, folks.